In the first reading, we have a story about a widow. Especially in those times, a widow was someone who didn't have someone to support, to defend, to protect. She's vulnerable. She has a son. It's also the time of a drought. And she's not Jewish. She doesn't know God. And Elijah the prophet comes to her asking her to bring a piece of bread. And so she says, "As the Lord your God lives, I have nothing baked. There's only a handful of flour in my jar and a little oil in my jug. Just now I was collecting a couple of sticks to go in and prepare something for myself and my son. When we have eaten it, we shall die." And so she has to make this decision. She just has a little bit of flour. Elijah's asking for a cake. What does she do? It doesn't seem that there's much hope. Why would God allow this? Why would God allow this situation? A woman who's probably innocent has her back against the wall. But Elijah tells her, do not be afraid. Even though you don't see an answer, even though you don't see hope, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid, because go and do as you propose, but first make me a little cake and bring it to me. Then you can prepare something for yourself and your son. For the Lord, the God of Israel, says, the jar of flour shall not go empty, nor the jug of oil run dry, until the day when the Lord sends rain upon the earth. And so he's telling her, don't be afraid because of who God is. Don't be afraid because God is present. Don't be afraid because God does provide. God will bless you. And she believes this word. She believes that this is who God is. She left and did as Elijah had said. She was able to eat for a year, and he and her son as well. The jar of flour did not go empty, nor the jug of oil run dry, as the Lord had foretold through Elijah. So this can also happen to us, that we have our backs against the wall, that we're being asked what appears, humanly speaking, to be too much. But God's allowing that situation exactly so that he can manifest himself to her, exactly so that she can experience his providence, exactly so that she can experience how close he is. And so it's also true for us. In those situations, God's simply inviting us to be generous so that we can experience his generosity, to give so that we can receive. God's intention, God's design is to bless us, because all of us have this tendency, there's something that works exactly contrary to this, that we tend to defend ourselves, that we tend to protect ourselves, that we don't give. And so God helps us by pushing us a little. But it's only that we can experience that God is who he says he is. Well, we hear in the responsorial psalm, the Lord keeps faith forever, secures justice for the oppressed, gives food to the hungry. The Lord gives sight to the blind. The fatherless and the widow, he sustains. It's exactly those that are defenseless. That's who God is closest to. And it's what we see with Jesus Christ, that when God became man, that's where he could be found. He was found with the poor. He was found with the lame. He was found with the widows. He wasn't found so much among the rich and the powerful. Which is to say that that's where God is present. That's where we can encounter him. Also, we see in Jesus Christ, he gives everything. Why is it that he's able to give everything? Why is it that he gives even his life? Why is it that he hangs on to nothing? Because he knows who God is. He knows who his Father is. He knows that his Father provides. He knows that his Father's close to him. He knows that his Father will give him what he needs. And so he's able to be generous. He's able to give everything that he has. And we can't outdo God in generosity. Why does God ask us to give? God doesn't need anything from us. But he provides opportunities for us because he knows it's by giving that we're able to receive. And God desires to bless us. as generous as we are, he's always more generous with us. And so it's to enter into this cycle, recognizing that everything we have is a gift, that everything comes to us from the goodness of God. And recognizing that everything comes from God, then we also are generous because it's who God is. And by giving love, we receive love. And so God's inviting us to enter into this cycle. It's not the only way to live. There's other ways to live. There's other ways to operate. In the gospel, Jesus is talking about the scribes. He says, beware of the scribes who like to go around in long robes and accept greetings in the marketplaces, seats of honor in synagogues, and places of honor at banquets. So this is another option. Instead of giving, instead of being generous, we can do the contrary. We can seek to possess. We can grab. We can try to hang on to. It's another way, looking for honor, looking for goods. But then the widow's different. Instead of being this opportunity to give, she's the one that's easiest to take advantage of, easiest to grasp from. They devour the houses of widows and as a pretext recite lengthy prayers. And so these are the two options. But if we reflect on the people that we know, we see that this word is true. People who are generous receive. People who give are happy. And exactly the contrary, the people who seek to possess, they end up empty. They don't discover the happiness that they're looking for. And so the gospel says they will receive a very severe condemnation, because at the end of life, they will find that all they have are things that pass away. We can seek material goods, we can seek honor, we can seek power, but in the end, it doesn't endure. On the contrary, if we're giving away love, we receive love. And if we have love, faith, hope, and love are what endure. And the greatest of these is love. And so God, by providing us opportunities to love, is only so that we can receive love in return. And the more we give love, the more we receive love. And so this is the mystery that God's inviting us to experience. And the opportunities that God gives us in our life is only because he wants to bless us. He wants to be generous with us. He wants to manifest who he is to us, that we can see that it is true, that he is close to us, that he does provide, that he does know what we need. And so we have this widow. Why is it that she's able to give the 2 small coins all she had? Because she knows who God is. She knows who her Father is. She knows that he does provide. And so she's able to give the little that she has, as opposed to the others that Jesus says that they have contributed from their surplus wealth. They've given, but from their leftovers. And so if my image of God is someone who's far away, if my image of God is someone who isn't close to me, then it makes sense that the way I live my life is trying to possess, trying to take, trying to provide for myself. But if I know God as love, God as close, God as Father, this opens me up. And again, the more that I'm generous, the more I see that God is more than generous with me. It's out of gratitude. And so today we're doing many things. One of them is we have the state of the parish for 2018. And so these are in the back of the church. And I think the best lens to look at 2018 is exactly what I'm saying. That what is Sacred Heart of Jesus? Why is it that we have this church? Why is it that we have pews to sit on? Why is it that we have this land to gather? It's only because people who have gone before us have been grateful. Grateful for what they've received, recognizing that everything comes as a gift to God. And so they've been generous, and we're reaping the fruits. We're benefiting from what they've given out of gratitude. And so also 2018 was exactly this, that God acting in the lives of people, people have been generous, and it bears fruit. And so this report is really to give glory to God for what he's doing, how he's acting, how he's manifesting himself, how he's showing himself to us. And so that we, in turn, can be grateful and that we can give, knowing that as we give, he's more generous to us. And so also we're having our ministry fair today. And hopefully we see these simply as opportunities to enter into this mechanism, these opportunities to show our gratitude for all the gifts that God has given us. And knowing that as we give, we receive. As we offer, we're blessed. That this is who God is, that God is gift. God is generous. And he simply invites us to participate in his generosity, in his love, in his life. So also we have these half sheets in the pews that you can also consider offering for ministry. You can put them in the baskets. Also, you can give them to the ushers afterwards. Also, after Mass, those sign-up sheets that you can consider out of gratitude, signing up for a different ministry. And so it's in the Eucharist that God is here giving everything he has to us. Jesus Christ is offering everything he has to us. And so it's an opportunity to recognize that this is who God is, that God is generous with us, that God is giving himself to us, that this is the truth, this is love, this is God. And he invites us to receive this Spirit so that we can participate, so that we can also be generous, because it's who God is, and we're created in his image. And the more we love, the more we receive love. And so we enter into this Eucharist full of gratitude for who God is, how he's manifesting himself in our lives. And we ask him to give us his Spirit so we also may be generous with the gifts that he has given us.
Everlasting